All right, everyone. The police chief of Seattle, Carmenbest, has decided to step down. She had enough of it. You see, Seattle has voted to defund their police by about 40%, which means there are going to be fewer officers, less pay for those that are there, and they're shifting funds towards, I hate to say literally, but literally like social workers for the police force, and they're also getting rid of several of their dispatchers. So you've got riots, you've got a skyrocketing crime rate, and your answer is to withdraw more police from the streets, essentially abandoning these communities. I would say at this point it is now justified for the people of Seattle to begin ignoring legal convention and defend themselves more appropriately. I disavow violence and I won't elaborate further, but at this point, the city of Seattle is no longer run by what would constitute a legitimate governing body. Because it's how can you consider it legitimate? Like there and in Portland and these other places, you have like the Minneapolis council trying to do the same thing, and the council people are hiring their own private security and then billing the taxpayers while talking about depriving the taxpayers of the ability to defend themselves or be defended against violent rioting communists that are looting their city every night. Look at what's happening in Chicago right now. This is why we need to punish the Democrats at the ballot box come November. You want your city to be like Chicago? Right now, even most of the reasonably large cities in the U.S., they're pretty safe. You have some protests, maybe a few broken windows, but it's at a low simmer. And in small town and rural America, nothing's goddamn happening. There's not going to be a race riot in Rutland, let's put it that way. That being said, there are plenty of large cities that right now are seemingly calm, and they won't be anymore if this kind of policy is exported to the national stage. I'm not surprised that she resigned. She has been completely disrespected by the mayor and the city council. And look, by the way, what a wonderful person to not throw these goddamn bastards under the bus. And instead she comes out, she's very conciliatory and says, well, I want to thank the mayor, I had a great time, but I've had a... She publicly at least is not humiliating these people. She's certainly showing more restraint than I would. I know what she would really like to say, which is, hey, these people basically are saying fuck off to me, fuck off to my officers, they're saying fuck off to their own community, and so I'm fucking off, and they should fuck themselves. That's probably what she wishes she could say. But I guess she wanted to not go out with a bang. She preferred to just slide off to the side, roll her eyes, and probably move away and then watch Seattle burn and say, I told you so, till some years from now. I would resign too. I think all of the officers there should resign. Show the nation, just for a month or so, show the nation what it's really like to have no police around. And watch what happens in Seattle as violent communists and anarchists destroy most of the city. Watch as they filth up their own nest. There's an old Vermont saying I've used several times. It's a dirty bird that fouls its own nest. That's exactly what the BLM and looter people are doing. And then Antifa, they come in across state boundaries all the time. They're engaging in massive felonious federal level crimes on a regular basis. And the prosecutors, they keep letting them go. That's why it's good that the Fed should get involved. Make it all federal. Have federal agencies police these cities if they're not willing to police themselves. The people there pay taxes to the United States as well, not just to their city and their state. Imagine living in Seattle. You're paying through the nose to live there. You're paying a massive in-state tax rate in Washington. Or you're in Portland in Oregon, also high tax. You're paying all these taxes, and then they're saying, well, yeah, we're going to use the money for something better, like social workers. They're going to go out with the cops on call. Now, there is one reform that I actually support, which is that they're taking drug-related and like youth and minor truancy and shit, they're taking it out of the hands of the police in general and putting it into sort of a social service. That I support. That part's actually a good reform. And it does need to be done. We need to get rid of the drug war. It's an abomination. People shouldn't even be fined for having drugs. People should be able to use drugs and it should be their choice. I don't really give a fuck. It doesn't bother me unless it's DUI or they're smashing windows or something. It's interesting. The violent behavior that drug addicts supposedly regularly are engaged in, most of these people are like straight edge. Most of these people are sober when they're throwing bricks. They're not falling down drunk. They might have smoked a little weed, but they're not strung out or anything like that. No, these are a bunch of college kids. The most they do is they grab their bong on the weekend and mommy and daddy's credit card loses another $100 as they buy some overpriced hydro from one of their hippie buddies, one of their beatnik buddies. That's these people. That's their problem. I feel sorry for the police chief. I hope more officers resign. So now they're short. Another job has been lost as the result of far-left mentality. And she seems to have actually been a competent police chief. Again, it would be funny if now she makes a YouTube channel or something. She goes on a crazy rant against the city of Seattle, talking about the council and stuff. I guess she'd have to wait till she moves away. She doesn't want any problems. It's usually, if you're under the jurisdiction of a governing body, it can be, if you assume that it's corrupt, and I'm sure that the council of the city of Seattle is, if it's corrupt, it's dangerous, potentially, to speak out against them. Because then they'll weaponize resources against you like Obama's IRS and Lois Lerner did, progressive and right-wing groups. Remember that? Yeah, you're not going to hear about that in the election either. So yeah, I'd say screw the Soviet Union's city council. And hopefully she finds, with her qualifications, she can probably become police chief somewhere else. She should move to Texas where you're actually allowed to do your fucking job. That's about all. Peace out.